Standing up for basic rights, that is the topic of tonight's Byline. Do you believe in free speech? I mean, really believe in free speech? Are you willing to let people that you disagree with say, print, or publish words and images that you don't like? It's a tough question because people will instinctively say yes, but then something comes up that they disagree with and they say, oh, well, yeah, free speech, but this is different. This is about the children. That's essentially what we have happening here in Hamilton, Ontario, where City Council voted unanimously to condemn and call for a ban on a certain type of pro-life publication. The Canadian Centre for Bioethical Reform has been targeting members of Parliament in this city, distributing pamphlets with graphic images of abortion and linking these images to the support these MPs offer to abortion. Now, I'm not going to say the images are anything but horrific, but as a friend of mine says, if you're going to support abortion, as most of the MPs in this city do, then you should be able to look at what you support. But the pamphlets are being dropped in home mailboxes, and that's what has so many people upset. Some are angry. Some say their kids shouldn't be exposed to this. And City Councillor Terry Whitehead, he said he's heard plenty of complaints about the pamphlets. He told local media, I was inundated with phone calls last night, including my own daughter who received one. People are begging and pleading with council to do something. Well, just because people want council to do something doesn't mean they should. Here's part of the disturbing motion passed unanimously by Hamilton City Council in response to these pamphlets. They call on the federal or provincial government to use legislation or regulations, quote, to prevent the use of graphic, gruesome, and disturbing images of aborted fetuses in display materials, advertising posters, banners, and other mediums as part of any anti-abortion or pro-life campaign, at least to the extent that such images are shielded from children and other vulnerable persons. It's kind of odd for politicians to be calling for something that so obviously goes against the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. I'm from Hamilton. I can tell you that for a long time, this council has had a very big leftward tilt. And one thing the left says they love is Trudeau's Charter, Trudeau's greatest gift to Canada. But of course, the Charter itself is supposed to protect the very type of communication that council is trying to shut down. Section 2B of the Charter states that everyone has, quote, freedom of thought, belief, opinion, expression, including freedom of the press and other media of communication. You will note the Charter doesn't say you've all got freedom of expression unless what you say offends someone. That's not in there. You want to hear something truly shocking about this vote, though? Two of the people that voted for it used to work in the media. Mayor Bob Bertina and Ward 2 Councillor Jason Farr both used to work in talk radio, a medium that depends on freedom of expression. Look, I get that this pamphlet and ones like it will offend people. I get that the images are not for everyone and that many parents, myself included, would want to shield their children from these images. But does that mean that we use the power of the state to shut down people we disagree with? It shouldn't. That path is the proverbial slippery slope. Pro-lifers are banned today, and maybe you don't care, or maybe council doesn't care, but who will be next? What cause that the politically powerful disagree with will be stopped next? I'm on record as not being a fan of the graphic images. Despite being an adamant pro-lifer, I've debated the proponents of these images on air. I don't use them to make my pro-life case. But does that mean the state should be used to shut them up? The obvious answer is no. If you don't like the images, don't support the CCBR or lobby them to change how they operate. Maybe ask them to soften the message. Just put the images on the inside of the pamphlet. That's not the way politicians operate, is it? We saw this recently in Nanaimo, British Columbia, where council voted to ban a Christian group from meeting on city property because they didn't like the message some of the people associated with an event had. They were Christian people, ones that had expressed opposition in the past to gay marriage. And that was enough for council in Nanaimo to ban the group. Christians, pro-lifers, gun owners, you notice the pattern in the types of people that councils like to target. The kind of people that aren't popular, the kind of causes that aren't popular with the media or the chattering classes. The kind that don't have Margaret Atwood and David Suzuki rallying to their cause and leading editorialists at the Toronto Star or the CBC giving endless coverage denouncing bans like this. Let's play the game where we reverse this. Can you imagine banning a gay group from speaking? What about banning a Muslim group from speaking or an environmentalist, a feminist group? Would any of those bans get unanimous support from this council or from any council across Canada? And if they did, how long would it be until the media across this country was running a non-stop campaign to denounce the city and have them change their ways? But pro-lifers aren't liked by the media, so this campaign won't get going, except perhaps here at Sun. I may not like what these pamphlets say, but I will defend the right of the CCBR to produce them and distribute them. And unless you support seeing your rights being curtailed because you support a politically unpopular cause, then you should support the CCBR and their rights as well. And that's the byline.